God. Okay, we're just gonna, it'll be fine.
It worked.
One day we'll start an episode without talking about how we're having issues.
The struggles.
Up.
Oh, why would we do that on It's All Gone Terribly Wrong?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
A podcast of absurdities, oddities, and obscenities.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Holy shit, we introduced ourselves right away. Oh, wait, hold on. I'm Jordan Stock.
Right, who the hell are we? I'm Rebecca Carlson. Today,
not last week.
I wish I were someone else tomorrow. Just kidding. Actually,
That sounds like a song.
right? I wish I were somebody else tomorrow. Well, truth be told, I don't know if you had any plans on how to start this episode. Okay, cool.
I never do.
I never do. Well, last episode was our first official back from the hiatus. And this week, this is episode 2 post hiatus, and I fully expected to be on a high. Yet we are both grieving losses.
Yes, we are.
Separately. Individual losses, yet grieving together. So This episode, you guys, might be a little rough because we are definitely feeling a little blue today. But I personally don't want to talk about mine, and I'm sure you're the same, so we're not going to.
I don't mind talking about mine just as a reminder.
PSA?
Yeah. 7 years ago today, my best friend in the world at the time committed suicide, or I guess technically the term now is performed suicide. So I just want everyone to know, like, I still think about that person every day, regardless of if you think you have anyone that cares or not. Someone fucking gives a shit about you. There are alternatives to taking your life. So just if you're depressed or contemplating suicide, call the suicide hotline. We'll add it in our show notes. But keep pushing forward. Like, I know some of those feelings feel like they're going to last forever, but most feelings are only temporary, be them longer or shorter than others, but shit's not going to stay the same way. So just keep pushing forward.
Indeed. Oddly enough, that advice is applicable to my grieving process right now. So
it is, yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for saying that, because that was literally off the cuff, you guys. It was not planned at all, but
No.
it was you just witnessed, or somehow through your ears, a moment where she channeled something that, like, I needed to hear personally. I mean, not that I was contemplating suicide. Whoa, let me back that up.
But I think it's based.
The fact that like what you're feeling and your darkest hours is temporary. There is another day.
Absolutely.
A dawn of a new day.
Yes.
So that was how we started our episode. No, but seriously, it's an important message, and
it is.
I don't mean to make light of it. It's just we didn't want to ignore the elephant in the room for ourselves, knowing that we're going to do this episode, and
right,
we're supposed to be entertaining you,
right? But
you all.
Also, like, I think it's important to be realistic.
Oh yeah,
especially with so much social media out there. It's even harder because people act like their lives are perfect on social because they don't have to show all their problems and what's going on in the background. And just remember that those people are fucking fake and they're dealing with a lot more than they're showing. No one is perfect. Everyone's dealing with something.
That is so true. It's hard to remember or keep that in mind sometimes, but that's so funny you said that, because I was literally just thinking, I already hate having Facebook. Again, I've had Facebook back for like a month, and
it's rough, man.
Hate it already.
Really rough, and then it's hard to pull away from it. But I definitely like have to force myself to go, like at least a week out of every month, just not fucking looking at it. 'Cause it affects your mental health so much.
It really does. It really does. Now, that doesn't mean that I hate being connected to my friends.
Oh, absolutely. I love that.
But it's
still,
it's all the other garbage that comes along with it. So, yikes. Maybe this week you guys try a day or maybe the whole week without social media.
Yeah, at least today.
See what happens.
Yeah, it definitely changes your mindset.
You know what we didn't do? And maybe, I don't know, if were we settled on that? Were we at a good place in that conversation?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have 2 uncracked beverages
on
here.
A lighter note.
So I wanted,
I know I keep like wanting to grab mine, but I was like waiting for us to move forward from that.
I am so glad you waited. Yes, we have 2 uncracked drinks. Mine is a much anticipated cider provided by our favorite friend of the podcast, Tina. And I'm so sorry it's taken me this long to taste it, and you were concerned about how it traveled, and I'm sure we chilled it the entire time. I'm sure it's fine, but I'm about to taste it beautiful right now. It's huge though, and it's 6.5.
I was surprised you brought the whole can, and I thought you were gonna like pour a glass of it.
That's why I waited to start this, because I'm going first in the stories today. 1, because mine's pretty long, and 2, because I was gonna finish this called a crowler.
So then you can enjoy it after you.
And so I can get slowly wasted as I... But then also be wasted by the end of my story instead of be wasted before my story. So this will be fun. Anyway, it's called the Crowler Armageddon. Nope. Oh my God. Why am I... Okay. This is happening. Armageddon Brewer. Oh my God.
She hasn't even had a drink yet, y'all. She had a shot of whiskey with me.
In our
warm up.
Yeah, well, it was our grieving warm up. Yeah. So Armageddon Brewing. Oh my God, because I wanted to say brewery because I've been like brewery, right, but it's actually just brewing. Armageddon Brewing, and this is the apple cherry cider. So and then you have a. I'm a lush and drank all the other ones that Tina sent. Literally all of them, Tina, but she loved them.
They were delicious. I did. I love them. I should have made a note of it. Now I feel like a dick. There was one company in particular that was really good, and the names were all fun. One was like hashtag I can't even. One was like hashtag adulting or something. We'll put it in the notes, but that brewery was really, really good. So thank you.
Thank you, Tina. And I felt I definitely was okay with Jordan partaking of the beverages because the cider I got special. So thank you, Tina. All right, so let's crack into it. That's not our thing. I stole that from somebody. I'm sorry. Woo! Mine was a little awkward to open because it's huge. It looks like a baby's holding a beer.
It does.
Okay. Yuck, it's terrible. I hate it. Just kidding. I taste the apple. I taste the cherry. It's really good. It's still very fresh tasting. Like it feels like this is definitely a craft like, cider.
Yeah, no bullshit filler stuff.
Yes, it says apples, tart. This is the ingredients: apples, tart cherries, orange peel, sulfates, and sorbet. Sulfates, not sulfates.
Sure.
Sulfites. Mm-hmm. That's probably how that's pronounced. Science people are like, you fucking idiot.
Right.
Do you even know our language? All right. So this was delicious. Thank you. And I will slowly be getting drunk on it throughout the evening. You can thank Tina, everybody, for how messed up my story gets.
Cheers to that, man.
Oh, we didn't, but...
Oh.
We cracked, but we didn't cheers.
Clink.
Clink. All right. Well, do you have any notes or any additional things to add to the beginning?
Well, after drinking a bunch of amazing craft beers,
that Miller Lite doesn't have the same...
It's not really that satisfying.
Shocked.
I know. No, I actually don't. I grabbed my notepad thinking I had notes. I do. Okay, so I have one just as a suggestion. Vice on Hulu came out with a series called The Dark Side of the 90s. Have you watched that yet?
No, I never even heard of it.
It's really good. They're still coming out with new episodes, but the First one's about talk show TV, like trashy TV,
like Jenny
Jerry
Jones,
Springer. Yeah.
Jerry Springer.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, Donahue.
Yeah. And then the next episode's about the Viper Room, which I had no idea about.
You didn't know about the Viper Room? Oh, wow.
So that was really, really good. It was sad at the end. I fucking cried because they talked about River Phoenix.
Right.
And then the one after that is about the Beanie Baby craze, which
Beanie
is
Babies.
fucking insane.
Yeah.
I almost did it on the episode, but I was like, this show is really new, so just go watch it. It's really good.
I fortunately was not obsessed with Beanie Babies.
Oh man, me and my mom were all about it.
Some of those ones go for like thousands of dollars. I almost said hundreds of thousands.
I don't think they do
accurate?
so much anymore. No, they kind of lost their value and they haven't really retained it, at least not yet.
Oh, well then, wah, wah, wah. You should have got a Furby. Just kidding.
I had one of those too.
Well, they tell you that's like CIA. That was the original like Alexa listening device, you know? Those Furbies.
Those things are creepy. Have you seen the YouTube video? There's a guy that made them into an organ. Like they're all like a piano organ. So each Furby is like a different pipe and there's like layers of them stacked on each other. And like when he presses the button, like that Furby will like make
animate
a noise. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's creepy.
And creepy.
It's impressive that he like wired all of that.
Just kidding. Oh my God.
That's who you want to date.
Are you crazy and creepy? You sound like my type. Oh my God. That's awesome though. Yeah, but sorry if you invested thousands of dollars in a Beanie Babies back in the day.
I still have them.
What? Mm-hmm. Okay, you also have a fire pit. Let's and it's prime fire pit season.
We're not burning them.
Oh no, we can't.
Oh, that's my That's like my childhood.
Oh, let's burn something though.
Oh fuck yeah, we're gonna burn all types.
You know what?
Of stuff.
I fucking feel like burning something down. Like I really do.
I mean, we can burn shit tonight if you want.
It was a nice night last night.
It was.
It was
really
amazing,
nice.
and it got fucking ruined for me. So tonight something's burning.
I'm down.
Something's going on.
I'm sorry,
fire.
I haven't mowed my grass because I
don't like to do that. No one likes to do that.
But the fire pit's on, the tile, whatever.
There's a patio.
Yeah, so it'll be okay.
I'm good with that. All right, y'all. We're getting fucked up after this episode.
If you don't hear from us next.
Something's getting lit. Someone call the fire department right now. Just to make sure we're not like a pile of ashes out there. I don't know where they live. Their names are Jordan Stock and Rebecca Carlson. They do this podcast somewhere on the Gulf Coast. We don't know. You got to do a wellness check. Oh, my God. Okay, well, at least our spirits are picked up.
Yes. Did you have any other notes? Mm-mm. All right, well, as you take that swig, Rebecca.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
Tell me a story.
I have a great story for you.
I'm excited.
And you'll never guess what it is.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Girl, it's the exact same thing I said was going to happen last time.
The
Edgar Cayce.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the follow-up to the Akashic Records that we did, or that I did last time. So we ended with Edgar Cayce as one of the proponents or one of the psychic mediums that said that he got his information from the Akashic Records. So now we're going to go into Edgar Cayce's life and premonitions and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And I have to thank the following sources: edgarcayce.org, Wikipedia, obviously, and the Washington Post for the majority of this research. I will cite some other information and provide that source later on as it comes up, but those are the primary sources I used.
Okay.
Okay. So Edgar Cayce was born March 18th, 1877, and he died on January 3rd, 1945. Sorry, I'm like very phlegmy. You're gonna have to
no, it's fine.
edit all of this.
Too. It's like one of those like allergies times of the year.
Yes.
It's awful.
Everything's changing. All the allergies everything is changing. So sorry about my My allergies. Okay. Anyway, Edgar Cayce was an American clairvoyant who claimed to channel from his higher self. Cayce's sessions occurred during a trance state when he would fall asleep. And over the years, people would record what he said, such as like his friend Al Lane, his wife Gertrude, or his secretary Gladys Davis Turner. And during these sessions, Cayce would answer questions on subjects like healing, reincarnation, dreams, the afterlife, past life, nutrition. Atlantis is a notable one,
what?
And future events.
Okay.
Future events.
So he was asleep, and they were asking him questions.
Yes. He would
talking in his sleep.
He would go to sleep. Yes, basically, he would channel something and talk in his sleep.
Okay.
When guys have talked in their sleep around me, it's never fun.
No.
Actually, my ex-husband would say some weird shit. Like, you could get him to do stuff. Side tangent. You could be like, Josh, where's the cookie? Where's the cookie? And he'd be like, in the drawer.
That's fucking hilarious.
He'd just make up some random shit, and it's like, this is hilarious.
I had one ex that one night I was sleeping on my side, and like he was the big spoon, and he just goes, I need those bags of money, and just like grabbed my butt cheeks.
Are you sure he was asleep?
He was asleep because I turned around and was like, what the fuck?
I need those bags of money.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I hope I remember that. Okay, everybody, find your significant other and immediately grab their cheeks and say, I need those bags of money. Or just anybody.
Just anyone, really.
If you're listening to this while you're standing in line for the bank, just reach up to the person in front of you and say, I need those bags of money. Maybe don't do that at the bank. As long as there's not security. Okay. No, I don't remember where we tangented from.
Oh, talking in your sleep.
Oh, yeah. That's what he would do. He would fall asleep, channel something, and then, like, he would say shit, and then somebody would record it. Mm-hmm. Usually. I'll get into more of the process a little later.
Okay.
But, yeah, he did talk about, like, basically everything, but notably Atlantis and future events obviously were a big deal. Mm-hmm. He was a devout Christian and a Sunday school teacher.
Weird.
Yeah, so...
Especially the Sunday school teacher. I don't know why.
So this is like... I'm pretty sure he was in the Midwest/South during this time. And this is, like I said, he was born in 1877 and died around 1945. So he's right in that spiritualist revival versus like the fundamentalist Christian evangelism kind of movements that were going on.
Yeah.
So he's also, you can see where his influences are, because he's a clairvoyant claiming to be receiving these messages from a higher source, but that higher source is God.
Right.
So there's the evangelism coming in. Okay, so as a Christian and Sunday school teacher, obviously this was troubling for his community, because at the time it was a largely fundamentalist Christian, evangelist kind of community.
Yeah.
And they thought that was demonic, obviously. Mm-hmm. They're like, are you really channeling God, or is it the devil?
Possessed, yeah.
But he actually was so well liked in the community that it should have been a bigger issue than it actually was. And sure, he did get some flack, but he earned a really good reputation. So he obviously was accurate enough at the time that, because he did over his lifetime, like, hundreds of thousands of readings. That's not even an exaggeration. He would like have lines of people throughout the day, and he would work himself to death. Like he literally worked himself to death. It was very exhausting for him. And towards the end of his life, he was like just super frail and like exhausted all the time, and he would have to take these long breaks. But anyway, let's get back to the history. I lost my place. Okay, so yeah, some people in the community could have saw it as demonic, and it really could have gone badly for him if he wasn't such a stand-up guy in general.
Right.
But he believed that his subconscious mind, while exploring the dream realm, is where he was connected to the higher power. And he eventually founded a nonprofit organization called the Association for Research and Enlightenment, which I'll speak to later.
Okay.
To store and facilitate the study of his channelings and run it as a hospital. So the backstory there is he wanted to start a... He was first taking clients out of his house, and it got to be too much, and he was such a good guy that he wouldn't even charge people. Like, if you had money, obviously he's going to charge you, but if you were poor and needed guidance, he's not going to charge you. And he would put you up in his house. He would feed you, his wife would feed you, and they'd give you a room. But that got to be too much. So he wanted a bigger space to be able to help those in need, and they ended up purchasing a place. I'm pretty sure it's in North or South Carolina. I forgot to put that in my notes, but I think it's somewhere in the Carolinas. But and he ran it like a hospital, so people could come and stay and get healed, basically through his meditative practice and his channeling and whatever information came from it.
Right.
But that is important to know about Edgar Cayce, the man. He was say what you will about his abilities or premonitions, he didn't charge the poor. He was very known for giving away free services, and he was not in it to make money. He lived a very modest, humble life.
Okay.
I'm not saying he was poor and wore rags, but he was very
he just believed in it, and so that was his gift, and so
this is not the man who's rolling up in a fancy car,
a Bugatti,
with the finest shoes and suit. This is not the man, even though there are plenty of people at that time that were taking advantage of the ill-informed.
Absolutely,
that is not Edgar Cayce.
That's still relevant,
right? However, what his Association for Research and Enlightenment, the center that he started, unfortunately does not remain under his control and or his
values.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But getting back to that, anyway, okay. So he's been called the sleeping prophet and the father of holistic medicine. Some people even call him the father of the New Age movement. So,
okay,
that's a huge deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I'm taking a sip of my apple cherry cider. Okay. So he was born, like I said, in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, in 1877, and his psychic abilities began to appear in his early childhood. He was able to see and talk to his late grandfather's spirit. And he often played with imaginary friends, whom he said were spirits on the other side. He also displayed an uncanny ability to memorize the pages of a book simply by sleeping on it. So literally by osmosis. Like every kid's dream. Right. These gifts labeled the young Cayce as strange, but all Cayce really wanted was to help others, especially children. Like I said, that really speaks to his character throughout his life, even to his dying day. There's written documentations of his letters, his letter correspondence, and people, his wife and his assistant and people around him pleading with him to take better care of himself and stop doing so many sessions and stop helping so many people. And he's like, no, the work it's always there. I need to do it, So
how, maybe this is a dumb question, but how did he actually help people? He was able to decipher feelings they were having or tell them?
In various ways, honestly. Mm-hmm. So what he's doing is he's channeling basically going back, okay, so he's channeling the Akashic Records, and if we remember from the last episode what the Akashic Records are, it's the and I will go back into it in here in a minute, but it's basically the record of everything.
Right.
So he's like, if you got an issue, I'm pulling from the record of everything to figure out what to do about it. If it's a spiritual, physical, or emotional issue, I don't know, like, we're going to figure it out. So he pulls.
Okay, I gotcha.
And it's not even him like choosing. He's just the conduit. He's falling asleep and he's basically found a way, and I'm about to actually read into that.
Okay.
But he's found a way to allow himself to be a channel, a phone, basically a phone. Like he's the receiver the receiver.
Yeah.
Okay. So later in his life, he would find that he had the ability to put himself into a sleep-like state or trance by lying down on his couch, closing his eyes, and folding his hands over his stomach. And in this state of relaxation and meditation, he was able to place his mind in contact with all time and space, the universal consciousness, also known as the superconscious mind. And from there, he could respond to questions as broad as, what are the secrets of the universe? What is my purpose in life? Or what can I do to help my arthritis? Okay. Or
so
how
really
are the pyramids in Egypt built?
Everything. Yeah.
Like literally any questions. He would respond to these questions, or his responses to these questions came to be called the readings, and they're cataloged. So if you are looking into his readings, there's so many. They're cataloged by like number and letter sometimes. So it's like, yeah, Dewey Decimal was all over that bitch. And then obviously whatever the information that came from those readings were the insights that would help the person who's asking the questions, or the client, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
Client, patient, whatever. He could also respond to a variety of questions from individuals across the country. There's a famous example where he's doing a reading for, I guess he's like proving himself, and they ask him, what is this particular person doing at this particular time? And he says they're whatever, walking into their apartment. Mm-hmm. And so they call this person on the phone, and the guy picks up and is like, hello. And they're like, well, what are you doing? He's like, I just got into my apartment. What are you doing?
What?
That's not the exact verbiage, but like that's basically how the conversation went.
What are you doing?
If it was modern day, we're like, well, that's a sexy question. I just got to my apartment. What are you doing? And they were like, what? You totally just walked to your apartment? That's what Edgar Cayce said you were doing. That's crazy. So yeah, so like he could channel from across the country as well. I just bumped my mic.
Yeah, that's really crazy.
Yes. And obviously, the questions were asked by a conductor, which would be his wife or his secretary, who he picked up later on in life. Early on, it was his dad helped him, and his best friend, and then he met the girl of his dreams and fell in love. Which that's a cute story too, but I don't want to go into it. But they were basically like love at first sight and stayed together forever. She would help him for a little bit, and then he had to get a secretary, because then she kind of took over she was also like very heavily involved with helping patients, but kind of like in the not maternal sense, but like how, I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
I can't help you with this one.
She obviously can't help them with their readings, but she can help them like if they were physically ill or tired and they were coming there for like a medical diagnosis, which he was very well known for, and has yet to be debunked by any medical professional for his medical analysis while under in his hypnotic state or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's cured quite a few people. So I guess she would take the role of like making sure they're housing and physical needs are taken care of.
She'd go help them do that.
Right. Let me find my spot. Yeah, by the conductor. These responses came to be called... Oh, I already read that part. And yes, many people are surprised that he was a devoted churchgoer and a Sunday school teacher. But even at a young age, Cayce vowed to read the Bible every year of his life. And at the time of his death in 1945, he did that. Damn. Like from the moment he could read the Bible, he read it every year. He was well versed. Right.
I couldn't get through it.
There's no book I like that much.
Right.
That I want to read it every year.
So his parents were really religious too, then, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
everyone. Well,
yeah.
Not everyone, but a lot of people.
Most people, especially in that area, were definitely God-fearing people. However, when people asked him how he became psychic or how they can become psychic, his answer was always to become more spiritual. So in his mind, the two were synonymous.
Yeah.
But thinking back historically, there was a strong spiritualist movement where they're doing seances, they're channeling whatever, they're eating mummies and like, yes, girl, eating mummies.
What?
Yes. That people did that when in the whole Egyptian craze, like during the whole Egyptian craze, people would like pay good money for like a mummy, quote unquote mummy, and then eat it for like virility and shit.
Like across the world, like they would like pay to have it like shipped.
Yep.
And
a lot of them were not actual mummies; they were just dead people that. Yes, that some scam artist sold to them.
Oh my God.
And they would pay thousands of dollars to do that.
I've never heard of that. Wow.
So there's a strong spiritualist occult movement going. And then also the Bible Belt is thumping.
Yeah.
You know? And
Bible thumpers. I see what you did there.
Exactly. And you've got all the traveling evangelists doing their tent stuff. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm knocking the mic, and Jordan's going to kill me with this editing.
Fine.
I just feel like it needs to be in my face, but it's also very uncomfortable for it to be in my face. And I'm talking about the mic right now. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Yeah. So for him, though, the two were very much the same. It's like two different languages saying the same information. So his advice on how to become psychic was to become more spiritual. And when asked about the source of his information, he would actually reply that it's essentially coming from two different places. The first being the subconscious mind of the individual for whom he is giving the reading. So if you were asking the question and I'm the one channeling the information, I'm pulling from your subconscious mind some of the information. However, the second source is going to be the Akashic Records. So like some of this information is going to be within you. Maybe that's more of the personal growth and emotional questions, but if you have like a health concern, maybe that's found within your subconscious as well, but or anything else, that's going to come from the Akashic Records.
He's the middle of the sandwich.
He's this I was gonna say peanut butter and jelly, but then I was like ham and cheddar, turkey and Swiss.
Whatever your preference may be.
Whatever your preference. Yes. Okay, so the Akashic Records, like I said, they were also known as the Book of Life or God's Book of Remembrance, and can be equated to the universe's supercomputer system, or the cloud system as we know it now. And it's the central storehouse of information for every individual who has ever lived upon this earth. And they contain our every thought, deed, word, feeling, and intent. So, like, even if you didn't do a thing, it's recorded your intent to do the thing. Like, it's got to be massive. Who's paying the storage bill? I don't know.
Yeah, for real.
I bet IT is, like, nuts around there. All right, so I'm going to get into some quotes real quick. So this is how Edgar Cayce referred to the records. And this is a direct quote from him, from one of his readings, 1650-1, if you're so inclined to look it up.
Make a note.
Upon time and space is written the thoughts, the deeds, the activities of an entity as in relationships to its environs and hereditary influence as directed or judgment drawn by its according to what the entity's ideal is. Hence, as it has been oft called, the record is God's book of remembrance, and each entity, each soul, as the activities of a single day of the entity in the material world either makes same good or bad or indifferent depending on the entity's application of self. I forgot to warn y'all, it's really flowery. Really flowery language.
Well, that's per that era anyways, so.
Annoyingly so, yes.
Yeah. I had a quote like that a few episodes ago. I can't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, the Wendigos.
Yeah. I'm going to have a few more and I'm starting to regret them. So hopefully, I don't know, I'll see how it goes. But yeah, in a nutshell, he's just like, this is where he's referring to it as the God's book of remembrance, and it's everything intent, everything that an individual or an entity has ever attempted or could do. It's almost like this singularity. Is that the theory singularity, where everything that could possibly happening is happening all at the same time? Blows your mind.
Yeah.
What? What? So I'm Abraham Lincoln?
Oh, sweet.
What? I don't even...
That hurts my brain.
Yeah.
I just had like a existential crisis the other day. So.
Oh, no. Let's not do that. No existential crises. Crises. Crisiside. Yes, this is really heady stuff. I'm going to get to some fun stuff in a few minutes, but this is some funnish stuff. This is some really thick material.
I like it though. It's not something everyone thinks about on a regular basis. So
No, and thankfully not, because I think we'd all be gone mad if we did. But I wanted to let you guys know that I have two very fun topics that I'm so excited to follow up with these really thick ones. So I can't wait for my next two topics. Okay. But let's finish up Mr. Cayce. So when Cayce accessed the Akashic Records of an individual, he had the ability to select the information that would be of the most help to the person or at that particular time or of that person's life. And in other areas, I read that it wasn't so much him choosing. It was like he's channeling a librarian type of person and they're choosing for him or for this person. Like, this is your question and I know what you think you want to know, but this is actually the most helpful information for you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
I'm the librarian. I know better than you. So I wonder if they have to ask, what dimension are you in again? What reality do you live?
Oh, God.
Let me make sure I pull that correct.
Oof.
Right? If there was a mix up and all of a sudden you end up as a dinosaur. I don't know, getting fucked by a caveman or something.
God.
You'd be like, this is not what I asked. This is not what I wanted. Okay. Not that is even possible in this scenario. But anyway, when he accessed the Akashic Records of I already read that. When discussing the Book of Life, he stated that it was the record of God, of thee, thy soul within, and the knowledge of same. And that is a direct quote from him from his readings 281-33. But basically that speaks to his idea of oneness. That was a big part of his philosophy, is that, and I see this a lot, so I have to point this out, that I saw this a lot on multiple sites, people talking about his 11:11 and synchronicities readings. And to me, I think that's bullshit. I think he said the quote is 1111, and then he goes on to talk about how everything is one. And and everything is the same. But people misinterpret that, in my opinion. And they think that he's saying 1-1 and then they put a colon and then 1-1 and make it 11-11. And that's part of the synchronicities and the, like it's a whole other area of superstition and spirituality. But I think that I personally, and this is my humble opinion, think that is a misquote or people are reading too much into that reading.
See that. Yeah, everything gets warped over time.
Right. Just because he said the word 1 4 times doesn't mean that he's spelling out
Maybe
one.
He was thinking about how binary is going to become a thing in the future.
Right. I also like how they think that his secretary fucked up that bad and was like, oh, she just forgot the colon.
I know, right?
Right. She really meant to put 11-11, but she put 1-1 spelled out O-N-E, and then forgot the or the and at the end. It's like they make some really wild, like
that's everything.
Right.
But
and I'm like, it's his secretary that's been with him for ages, and I'm sure he like read over some of this afterwards, and well, he's unconscious, so maybe he didn't. But I'm sure she got her job right. Thank you. Sit down. No one needs to hear from you. Okay, sorry. I'm back.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Okay, so I'm going to read now a transcript from when he's talking about the Akashic Records.
Oh,
so it's like a Q&A kind of thing. So here's the question. Okay. And it's basically what is meant by the Book of Life. His response while he's channeling is the record that the individual entity itself writes upon the skein, which is spelled S-K-E-I-N, and I've never said this word before, but apparently it's pronounced skein.
Okay.
Anyway, of time and space. It looks like skin, but I don't know. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Anyway, of time and space. Through patience and is opened when self has attuned to the infinite and may be read by those attuning to that consciousness. I'm going to reread that, or I'm going to paraphrase it. Basically, it's a record that if you are patient and you are attuned to the infinite, you are able to access through your greater consciousness. Mm-hmm. And then the next question is, the book, this is somebody else, this is his... I don't know who this is exactly at the moment, but it's either his dad, his friend, his wife, or his secretary saying this. The Book of God's Remembrance. And then he says, this is the Book of Life. And then the questioner says, the Akashic Records. And then he says, those made by the individual as just indicated. Okay. So this is what people cite as the first... Oh, I'm sorry. That is from his reading 2533-8. And this is what people cite as the first, or where he's talking about the Akashic Records and God's Book of Remembrance. However, if you listened closely or are reading along with me because you found the site that I am using to cite this... The questioner brings up the God's Book of Remembrance, and the questioner says the Akashic Records. He doesn't say that. He responds with like, yeah, that thing, basically. So that part sketches me out a little bit. Like, he's not the one saying that. He's responding to these people saying those words. So it's kind of like, are you influencing, or is this stuff that he's talked about before?
I just wrote this question down, too, because I was curious that... so the people... Everyone that was allowed to talk to him, was it only like close friends and family members? Like when people came in to ask him like their own questions, did they ask the friend or family member and then they would go and talk to him?
I'm not 100% positive on it, but I imagine that they have a consultation with the person. They say, this is why I'm here. Like if they have somebody, or if it's a write-in, because he did a lot of write-ins, like people wrote to him if they couldn't travel. But if they were there, I imagine they did a consultation. And I feel like, okay, so a lot of this, I'm picturing a lot of stuff from a documentary that I watched a long time ago. And I'm thinking that like would invite somebody into the home. They would do like a consultation and get to know like the actual issue. And then he would lay down and do his, get into his meditative state. And then the facilitator, which would be his secretary or his wife or his friend or his or his dad.
Interesting. The facilitator seems to always be someone like close to him.
Exactly. Kind of like, it's almost like hypnosis, like regular hypnosis. You've got a professional who's the one that's actually leading the questions. And the reason that they're the ones asking the questions is because they're trained to know how to, first of all, what questions to ask and how to navigate the subconscious.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking that was kind of probably some aspect to it where these people that he's been working with for a long time have picked up some sort of,
they know
how like we can read each other's thoughts sometimes, like you just get that familiarity. So I'm assuming that is that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep yawning.
That's all right. It's
not because you're boring.
You're boring.
That still cracks me up.
It's not good. I mean, I am boring, and this is a lot of heavy stuff. No,
this is awesome, though.
But yes, I understand. It's been a very exhausting several weeks. Month, really, honestly, to be honest. Oh, no, I just went all the way to the top of my notes. Oh, okay, read all that. I read that. Okay, here we go. All right, so Cayce indicated that these records are more than just a storehouse for the past, when he stated, and this is another quote, "Yes, we have the body here, and the record as has been made, and as may be made with the will as exercised, and the condition irrespective of the will's influence or effect as has been created. We have conditions that might have been, that are, and that may be. Do not get the three mixed up or crossed purposes of either." So that's almost like, I joked earlier when I was like, the librarian's like, wait, which dimension are you in real quick? What Earth is that? Earth AB or A 2370-7?
Yeah.
Or, but I mean, it does kind of say, he said, don't get the three mixed up. What might have been, what is, and what could be is what he's saying. Don't get the three mixed up or cross their purposes because they are not the same.
Right.
And I'm like, that's scary. That quote came from reading 304-5. Interestingly, I found a Washington Post article that noted that in 2017, during the solar eclipse, do you remember the solar eclipse in 2017?
I do.
The shadow of the moon slid over Riverside Cemetery in Hopkinsville, Kentucky, which is where Cayce is buried, and covered it for 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And so for that time, the 2 minutes, 40 seconds, the grave of the sleeping prophet was in twilight, which was a cute little quote they wrote. Or a little saying that they did. The Washington Post article goes on to say that Marilyn Monroe, Irving Berlin, Harry Houdini, George Gershwin, and Thomas Edison reportedly sought him out as well, as recorded by one biographer. And it also noted that Cayce was making headlines as early as 1910 when the New York Times published a story about him, and the headline was literally, "Illiterate man becomes doctor when hypnotized." Rude. He wasn't illiterate.
Oh, God.
Illiterate man.
Oh, my God.
That is so freaking rude. Okay, but, so when we started this episode, the sun was high and we had light, and now it is dark. And now it is dark. I am almost done, though.
Oh, well, we'll do that first. We can shuffle around afterwards.
Okay. So this is the fun stuff. Disclaimer on the fun stuff. Some of the supporting information is missing or only available by becoming a member of the Edgar Cayce Association for Research and Enlightenment. So I'm going to take a side tangent to rant about this organization. I'm sure you do great work. However, it goes against Edgar Cayce's exact principles to charge people for the help that they desperately need. He charged those who are willing to give. the wealthy people.
Yeah.
You know, he even convinced, I think, several wealthy clients of his to help fund the hospital that he used to help the poor people that couldn't afford the help.
Right, yeah.
And now these motherfuckers can't even prove what they're saying without you becoming a member. Like you can't say, okay, he made this prophecy, but where's that information? Well, show me the reading. They won't. Only members get full access to the readings.
That's
exactly.
not okay. Yeah.
So just like when Steve Jobs died, this shit went downhill, and they were just in it for the money, in my humble opinion.
No, I stand by that as well.
However, I did come up with a YouTube video called Top 10 Edgar Cayce's Predictions.
Ooh, that's fun.
And this is from in5d. Nope. Sorry, it's called in5d.com. in5d. It's called in5d.com. And fun fact, the narrator, Greg, is also from the Gulf Coast of Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because in this particular video that I watched about which you can also find, the top 10 Cayce predictions, he mentions that... I'll tell you when he mentions it. But anyway, so Edgar Cayce supposedly accurately predicted the stock market crash and the Great Depression in 1929, the beginning of World War II, and many changes of the modern times, supposedly. I was not able to find hide nor hair of these predictions. However, like I said, some of them are out there, but like most of them are like, become a member.
Right, of course.
So the first one in this list actually is the greater portion of Europe will be changed in the twinkling of an eye. There's basically, we're talking about, well, okay. So this, I'm going to read that one and the second one together because they're kind of tied together.
Okay.
The second one is there will be a shifting of the poles. And the supporting information for both of those is oh crap, I forgot to mark down the number of the reading. But anyway,
it'll be okay.
76-21987-2B. Or not to be. So, but the actual, whatever he said was, there will be a shifting of the poles. There will be upheavals in the Arctic and Antarctic, and will make the eruptions of volcanoes in the torrid areas. The upper portion of Europe will be changed in the blink of an eye. The earth will be broken up in the western portions of America, and the greater portion of Japan must go into the sea. So basically, he's this ties into additional ones that are coming up, but catastrophe and the topography of our earth as we know it will be changing. So don't invest in any maps. Don't buy stock in map making, because you'll be disappointed. Okay, so number 3 is there will come a time when the sun will be darkened. Remember that solar eclipse in 2017?
And then they were like, and his twilight was on his grave. That's interesting. Okay, that makes weird. It more relevant now.
It would, except for solar eclipses are cyclatory. Cyclatory, is that the word?
I have no idea.
They come in cycles. Like, it's predictable. Like, we know when the next solar eclipse will be. It may not be within our lifetime, but like this information he would have had access to.
Yeah.
So, without any further details, which I could not find, I Googled the shit out of it, and I could not find a supporting reading that had that information. So again, it's buried in those must be a member files. But it is kind of crazy that we did in fact have a solar eclipse during our lifetime. And somebody noted it. I read the Washington Post article, and it said nothing about his prediction of the solar eclipse.
Oh yeah.
It just was like, wasn't that weird?
Huh.
It's like, okay. All right. So number 4 is the city of Atlantis will be found near Bimini. Are you familiar with the area of Bimini or the Bimini Road? Well, if you Google Bimini, those of you listening. It is an underwater, I would call it an archaeological site at this point because it's clearly man-made. A lot of people or some naysayers will say it's a natural rock formation, kind of like that that one in is either Ireland or Scotland or somewhere in the UK, where it's like all those hexagons that they call it. I think they call it the Giant's Bridge or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, but it's completely underwater. You can only access it as a scuba diver. But it literally looks like a paved road, or kind of like those blocks of road. And so they call it Bimini Road. And there's a lot of other
cool.
I know, right? And there's a lot of other rock formations that don't look natural. They look very much chiseled or man-made. And so they call this area the Bimini Road, and that's where Edgar Cayce says is where Atlantis is. And that could, in essence, be part of Atlantis.
Yeah.
And we can't see it because the water levels rose, and most of what coastal areas that humans were, living, or Atlanteans were living in, are now covered in water. So he predicted that it will be Atlantis will be found in that area. And beyond that, the records of Atlantis will be open to those who that are the spiritual initiates. So at this time when Atlantis is found, in fact, there's another 7 yet to be yet to be ye yeet. 7 predictions that are yet to be confirmed, I guess.
Yeet those predictions into existence.
Yeah. And there are 3 of them, and it's like the 3 halls of records. And so Atlantis is going to be like one of those halls of records.
Okay.
So when we find them, it's going to start like the spiritual awakening, which is number 6. A new field of science will be developed based on psychic and spiritual phenomenon, which is kind of happening right now. I mean, even there's some like high-level former government or military professionals that are comparing paranormal and spiritual and psychic phenomenon as like being part of the same thing. Like it's all connected somehow. So there's legitimate support for that theory. And he predicted it. Because back in the day, that would not have been a thing.
Right.
Well, in his time, the psychic and spiritual, yes, would have been more accepted, but not fully, not in the scientific or government community,
and
really.
Even then, the psychic part doesn't seem like it would be accepted. He got flack for that
in
shit.
His area.
Yeah.
Had he been in, like, Canada and New York, though, or even England, he would have been, like, balling.
Yeah.
All right, so number 7 is the City of Gold will be discovered in the Gobi Desert, and that again is part of one of the 3 temples or halls of records or whatever they're called. And so supposedly we'll find this buried temple, City of Gold, in the Gobi Desert, and it's supposed to have like trams, like electric cars and shit, and like elevators and stuff like that. Like, yeah. So supposedly that's going to happen. Keep an eye out. New York, unfortunately, will disappear. Yeah. So you might want to move. Hey, why don't you join everybody else moving to Florida?
No.
Just kidding. Don't move to Florida because that's also going to be underwater. And that's where the Greg from this, like, that did this video that I watched, the Edgar Cayce predictions. He's like, well, I'm in the Gulf Coast of Florida, but I'm not planning on moving. However, if you Google the map of like futuristic, and they do provide it in this video of what the world would look like in a post Cayce prediction world. Yeah, Florida's covered. My original plan of moving to Austin and building a compound, still a go, still prime reality.
Yeah,
like I'll be almost like beachfront property in Austin. And that's not Lake Travis I'm talking about.
I'm gonna go to the Pacific Northwest.
Okay, we'll only go to Washington and only interior Washington because most of the West Coast is also dying.
Oh yeah, no, it won't be the coast. It'll be farther in the mountains.
Okay, that's what C wanted to do, but anyway.
What?
Anyway, okay, so number 9, America's West Coast will also be destroyed. Unfortunately, okay. But part of Washington I did see was still on the map. So like, yeah, in the like the north,
it could be the
northeast corner of Washington State is still there if you can make it there.
All right.
And then number 10, Cayce envisioned that there would be a time when all individuals would realize their responsibility toward one another, and this realization will change the mass thought of humanity.
Well, that'd be fucking nice, wouldn't it?
Well, a lot of people are citing 2020, 2021, all the social change, or 2017 really was the kickoff. Isn't it weird? They had the solar eclipse, and we're dealing with political polarization and rights, human rights, civil rights, and all these kinds of issues, like starting like right in that area. Like it wasn't like it's always been there, obviously, but like it really hit a fever pitch right in that time.
But there's still like so many like contradicting views about it, and people that are like vehemently against like PC culture and stuff. And so I think we're on our way maybe, but we're definitely not at that point where like everyone's like, let's come together.
Not yet, no. But this is the
starting point. Yeah.
So that's what people are saying about that. For the interest of time, since it's already an hour long, Jesus Christ, I'm going to skip the...
I know, we don't even have anything to cut out in the beginning because we like went right into it.
I'm sorry this was so long, but I told you that
really
it was like...
interesting, though.
Yeah. And I was challenged to find, predictions that he made that came true. But like I said, this information is somewhat on lockdown or still mysterious. And or you can read it as unsubstantiated bullshit. It's up to you.
Right.
It's if the organization that he had started gave this information freely and like had the records available, like I would have paid for it, but I refused. You guys refused. Not even in the name of in the name of journalism or for the this podcast and entertainment purposes. I will not give that company my money. No. They go totally against what he wanted.
Yeah.
And fuck those people.
Fuck them indeed.
And we're burning something tonight.
Fuck yeah, we are. I already forgot.
I did not. Something's goddamn burning. An effigy, I'll tell you what. And I know just the fucking face. I'm just kidding. Let's take a pee break.
Yeah.
Which would in the future be an ad break. So enjoy whatever ads here.
But it's not going to be an ad yet, probably.
No, but like I'm dreaming of a 10-year future where like
yes.
we do have ads, and now like some cat litter commercial is coming up.
That would be pretty good for us.
Ba-da-pow! Psh.
Okay, now we're really back from break. We just tried to start recording and I fucked it up, and so we had to start over again.
We're back. Do, 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 do. Or our bossa nova music. Do, 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 do.
We may have had a few breaks. Wait, a few breaks during our drink.
Yes, exactly that. We had a few breaks during our drink.
We didn't intend on our break being that long, but I'm a dumbass and didn't realize I had no memory on my computer, and so I had to transfer a bunch of stuff onto an external hard drive, and it took
painfully
a while.
A long time.
So
if any of you have ever watched a file download or transfer, that is our life. And plus whiskey and the rest of the cider that Tina provided. And Jesus then Christ.
We tried to blow up an inflatable pool.
I wish we had taken like video for Patreon, but we didn't. I'm sorry.
Oh, fuck. By the way, subscribe to our Patreon. In the future, there will be a bunch of
parties.
pool parties, and videos of us being dumbasses.
Oh my god. Can we please, like, pool party video for Patreon? That would get so much patrons.
Pool party videos?
Pool party, bikini tops popping off.
Girl, I'm not wearing a bikini top right now. I am too fat.
In general, hey.
Oh my god.
No. Just kidding. She said, I'm not wearing a bikini top right now. Ooh.
I'm too fat.
No. Honey, no. Everybody wants to see them titties.
Honey.
Them titties.
I don't want to see that gut, the beer gut.
Is it part of the titties?
It's a third boob.
I'm into that Martian shit.
That's a good lead. Becca.
I already told you my story, so Jordan, hey, tell me about the Martian boobies.
Have you ever heard of David Huggins?
No.
Really? You're so into, like, alien shit, I figured you...
David, okay, so it does sound...
You might, once I start talking about it.
What's the story? What's the story, More in Glory?
So shout out to my cousin Colin for telling me about this.
Thank you, Colin.
When we were, when I was in Delaware.
Colin.
He like, just like casually mentioned this, and I was like, holy fuck, I've never heard about this before. So I kind of had to delve into it a little bit. So, David, so I'm going to give you the synopsis first, and then we'll break it down a little bit more.
Okay.
Since Becca's was really long, I knew to keep mine short, which...
Woohoo. Not woohoo, I'm sorry.
No, I know what you mean. It's a lot longer than I thought it was going to be.
Woohoo for you for editing.
We'll see what happens. So, David, Mr. Huggins, concentrates most of his talent on the creation of a series of testimonial paintings about his lifelong experience as an alien abductee.
Okay.
Most of the aliens are blue. The paintings aren't that great.
No, but they are used
But there's a lot of them.
And people use them on their books, right? They're as covers for their novel.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, I think this is how I know him, is because people use his images as like covers or art in their books about aliens and abductions. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So, I don't know. Most of his depictions are his experience of losing his virginity to an alien in 1961 when he was 17.
Yeah.
And then
the Pleiadians,
he fathered a shit ton of babies for them, too.
Were they Pleiadians?
I don't know. I really didn't go that much under the surface with this one because I was trying to avoid having like too many notes.
A popular theme among UFO abductee stories is fanciful stories, basically sexually graphic novels about them losing their virginities to hot blue aliens.
I don't know if it was that graphic though. I don't know.
It's become a trope. This might be the origins but it's become a trope really in the alien community, in the UFO community, of like having sex with hot blue aliens. So and they're blonde. Or is his blonde? But anyway.
No, I don't think she's blonde.
But I am so fucking intrigued on how you heard. Please, if you are not going to continue in this direction, please tell me how this story came about and why it interests you. I know your cousin dropped it on you, but like, why did this interest you?
No, because I just looked it up and then looked at the artwork and was like,
the artwork, okay,
what the fuck is going on?
Yes,
she's not blonde. Okay, so the picture I'm showing Becca right now, she's not blonde. She's got like your standard like alien face that people think of, but she's got like shoulder length dark hair and is wearing a blue robe, and then they're in the middle of the woods and she is on top of him and he's naked, and then her robe is like covering everything up on her side.
But then
it's a little uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable. And okay, so now I do recognize this picture, but the picture I clicked on and expanded, oh shit, is this one where it's like a larger version. Look at that. You can click on it and like zoom in on it. It's this alien, and she's actually pretty fit. Like she's pretty fit, with dark hair and like Betty Page kind of like angled
looks like a
bangs,
regular human,
but like alien,
but just an alien
oval eyes.
Yeah,
and then she's like, but she's also
it's like corpse paint except alien paint.
But she's also like juggling her boobies. Yeah. She literally is just like, oh baby, you like my boobies, you know, like that's literally the pose that she's doing right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so
but the main painting he's known for is that one where she's straddling him
on top of him in the woods
robe.
Every man's fantasy.
It's awkward looking,
but
like look at his. I'm sorry. His facial expression and the way his arm is twisted.
Yes, he's in ecstasy, full ecstasy of this man right now.
Oh, like, God.
And yes,
we'll post a picture of it.
Definitely add this in the notes if we can.
And hopefully Zuckerberg won't take it down for it being inappropriate. Because
if they deem this inappropriate, come on now. I've seen some pretty inappropriate shit
right
in my 1 month of Facebook.
These paintings just get more and more weird. I don't. Okay, so
at this point, guys, pause, stop, Google what?
Google David Huggins painting or David Huggins art or painting. They'll come up the same.
All right, Google that so you are on the same page.
And welcome to the rabbit hole.
Yes, sorry, but and also pull over or stop.
Yeah, don't do it while you're
processing whatever you're processing. Yeah. Doing whatever the fuck you're doing, just pause and like do this safely. But Jesus. And okay, I'm excited. I'm fully on board. I fucking love this. This is my shit right here. So strapping in. Strapping in and strapping on.
Again, oh God. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna take a swig of my beer.
I am not taking that back.
Please don't. Okay. So again, like I'm just doing this like very on the surface. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to watch it this week. There is a documentary entirely about David Huggins. It's called Love and Saucers. And it I know. Becca's like losing her shit over here.
It's great. This is right up my alley. I love it. Love and Saucers.
So yeah, check that out. I'm going to watch it this week, but
homework.
It was a lot to delve into, and again, like I didn't want to do too much. Okay, so he claims again he was 17 when he lost virginity to this alien. It was on a rural farm in Georgia.
Oh, was she new to his school?
I don't know.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Again, I didn't do a bunch of details.
No, but like, okay, go ahead.
But they had been like visiting him and seeing him since he was 8.
Oh.
So he's walking through the woods and she showed up and seduced him and they banged. And apparently they did it what is it? Cowgirl?
Reverse cowgirl?
No, it wasn't a reverse cowgirl. What is it? Is it cowgirl if you're like... That's too much. I don't know. She got on top of him.
Yeah. My favorite. Sorry.
So... Oh, and he's quoted, he says, in Love and Saucers, actually, that... I thought, if anything, I'd be losing it in the backseat of a Ford, something like that, but it didn't work out that way.
Oh my God, I lost mine in the backseat of a Mercury. Oh!
We all know for previous episodes, I lost mine while watching Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap! Do you want to take a...
Yeah, let's do a thing real quick. I don't want to hate editing this.
Okay, we'll finish. Oh my God, you're still recording. Jesus,
yeah,
I'm so
I can't
sorry. I'm so sorry.
Stop, because it doesn't do it half the time.
That is my bad. I didn't realize you were still recording.
Because I can't. Half of the time we stop or pause and it doesn't work afterwards.
Okay, we'll just listen to about 10 minutes of that.
Okay. We're going to finish this up.
Yep. We were so close, though.
Do you want to grab your stuff so we don't have, background noise? I mean, you can sit there and eat it. I just meant so it's not, so close.
Get out of the mic, bitch.
I just want to finish this.
Will your tubby ass be loud eating?
No, that's not what I meant.
Stop crinkling the fucking paper, man.
You can crinkle the paper. That's fine.
Crinkle these nuts.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
what I fucking need right now. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so good old David. I hate that name, by the way.
Me too, motherfucker.
Name of one of my exes.
Wait, same. But also, if you're named David and we have not dated you, we apologize. I'm sure you're a lovely person.
Just head our way.
No. Stay where you're at.
Don't head our way. Especially if your name's Tim. Don't fucking...
No Tim, no Travises.
Dare fucking come over.
No Daves. Nothing with a J, honestly. Please don't approach me if you have a J name.
So, for gay people, it's Tyler. Don't date anyone named Tyler.
No Tylers. You know what? For straight people, no Tylers. No. I feel like cut all that. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Cutting and start.
All right, we're just
pop
through
now.
This now. Okay. So, it started as 8, and then his sexual relationships with them continued, and the visits into adulthood. He called the woman who he lost his virginity to Crescent. When he left Virginia, Jesus Christ. When he left Georgia in the 60s for art school, he went to New York City, and they followed him there.
Of course.
He said...
They want that D.
Yeah. No, just Crescent.
Just Crescent. She's
but he fathered
I'll find you
a gazillion alien babies from her. My relationship with Crescent was warm and friendly, a little strange. What do I mean? A little? Very strange. She was my girlfriend, really. A very unconventional relationship.
Jordan, this fucking story, though. Do you know what's happening in my head right now? Fuck this dude. I'm automatically fuck this dude. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You're playing games, sir. Maybe Crescent doesn't understand your fucking
my God.
thought
Quit
process.
Playing games with my heart. Backstreet Boys, my
Quit playing games with my heart.
Chasing water.
So, he said... Again, he eventually got prodded inside a vacuum cleaner-like spacecraft and fathered a ton of interspecies children.
Sure.
Which he also paints about.
I'm glad, sir, that you think that your sperm is so special.
So, per Vice, this is their quote, Huggins is unnervingly matter-of-fact when he talks about his encounters. It sets him apart from what most of us expect from truthers and UFO enthusiasts. He's not in it for the notoriety and doesn't care if anyone believes him. When Huggins talks about fathering hundreds of alien babies, and yes, that's another facet of his encounters, he sounds about as even-keeled as a farmer explaining crop rotations.
So...
But also, can I just say props to the Vice person for comparing it to crop rotations, because crop circles.
Good one, yes. However, also props to them because, like, I forgot this was a Vice story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
Dude, I fucking love Vice.
I really appreciate
They're very
Vice.
biased.
They are very biased. As a journalist and journalism student, because I don't know, like, I still feel weird saying I'm a journalist. I still feel weird saying I'm an artist, even though I've studied both.
You've been doing journalism for P&J.
I've sold art.
Ever. Yeah.
I'm published. I've got fucking shit.
Lady, own your shit.
I mean, I got shit. I've won awards and shit
Yeah.
on both aspects, in art and in journalism.
Yeah.
But in either case, it still feels weird to, like, judge another person's, story or experience or whatever. But like, I don't know, for whatever reason, this guy just seems like he wants the notoriety. Like, but what is fascinating about it, though, and why I'm glad you brought it up, is because his story is like sets a precedent for other stories, and that's become such a huge part of the UFO and alien abduction narrative, that it's just like, it might be true. What if this guy's telling the fucking truth and it's just so outlandish and nobody fucking, like, gets it? They think it's a joke, but it's fucking true.
He
and
did
like,
say his story
our future, the human future is based on his genes. It's like, what if they picked Forrest Gump and they decided that's the epitome of human culture and we're going to harvest all of his genetics and, like, reuse his genetics,
alien babies,
right? It's like, I don't know, in my opinion, that's where my head goes.
Yeah. Like, I guess they never explained to him why they picked him. I mean, maybe they did, but I feel like that would have been something they spoke about in the article, because that's kind of a prominent thing. But maybe they touch base on that more in the documentary. I don't know.
Honestly, that's part of the UFO culture. There's this sense of narcissism within, like, you're special, you're above others, you're chosen, like, that's, and it could be a small part of mental illness as well. Sometimes
pick someone because they just don't observe it. They just want a rando. I don't know.
Well, I honestly firmly believe in that as well, because that I love aliens, and I desperately want to be contacted by the alien community. So if anybody's going to believe the shit I am, right? But I firmly believe that the more you want it, the less it's likely to happen to you. And that sucks.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
However, J. Allen Hynek, the prolific source of astronomical information, and the source of the infamous swamp gas explanation. He was hired by the government to debunk all this UFO shit. He started investigating and became a believer. And so when he, like, looks at stories like this, which he certainly would have, because this came out when?
87.
He certainly would have. I think he was around still then. I think he got dementia, but, like, he certainly would have looked into this, or his Jacques Vallée, his predecessor, basically, his French predecessor. They would have looked into this story, and I mean, they probably wouldn't have debunked it, like, immediately. Yeah. Like, who's to say this didn't happen to him? Yeah. But, like, this is craziness, like, who's to say it didn't happen?
Yeah. Well, that's the reason why he grew notoriety, is because he is outlandish, again, grounded, of sane mind, healthy individual. So that was the allure of this reality that he talked about, because he didn't act like a fucking crazy person. And that's why Brad Abrams, the guy that made Love and Saucers approached him to make the documentary because he was like, this dude isn't all over the place. He's not like, he doesn't act like he's like just fucking sporadic and shit. Like, he can sit there and hold a conversation. And he also had like friends and family members that sat there as well to interview, just to be like, oh, well, this is, you know, what he's told us, and it wasn't just like people fucking all over the place.
Right.
And Abrams even stated, in a sea of outlandish claims, there was one that rose to the surface. And that was David Huggins. So obviously, I mean, we already talked about half of this shit now, but the best part is the paintings. They started in 1987, so even though he claims to have lost his virginity in 61, the aliens didn't let him speak of anything until 1987, so he was about 50 then. And he was like dealing with a lot of trauma because of all of it, and like everything was like pent up, and so finally they were like, okay, like, why don't you paint about it to have a release?
Right.
And so he claims, like, because he was finally able to do that, he was, like, able to, like, get good night's sleeps and forever, and, like, the stress and anxiety.
And we both know
relieved.
How important that is.
Yeah. Everyone find an outlet, like, unrelated to aliens.
For real.
Find a fucking outlet for your mental health. It is so goddamn important.
That is not detrimental to others.
Don't fucking kill anyone or hurt anyone. What the hell was that?
That was our rewind. Like, let's clarify.
Healthy acts of mental health. Jesus. Okay. So, since then, he's painted every detail of every single encounter. He has over 100 paintings. Like we discussed, they're not super great. A lot of them are of him having sex.
I argue that
but
point.
They're not.
He got hands and feet like pretty accurate.
No, I mean they're good.
He nailed that.
I guess they're not. They're not good by the measure of like, oh, this is like profound and stunning artwork, but.
It's not a Picasso.
Yeah,
but it's also not a
doing it to like
Vermeer.
Again sell it. He's doing it as an outlet. He's not trying to like have other people be like, "Oh, this is fucking stunning." Yeah, and also I just want to clarify, like, even though some of them are of him having sex, like none of them are really like raunchy or anything.
No,
and a lot of them are of him with, like, all his alien children and stuff.
So have you ever taken, like, a painting with a twist class, which is, like, where you paint and drink at the same time? It's those like, classes you get, and, like, yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah. It's like, we're going to paint as if we're abducted by aliens and having sex with them. So what does your alien look like?
Yeah.
She's juggling her boobies, apparently.
Well, it's funny you say...
And writing Cowgirl.
Jesus Christ. What does your alien look like? Because Jeffrey Kripal... Kripal? Oh, God. We've hit the limit. Like, we've drank too fucking much. Our good old friend Jeff, who's a professor of... philosophy. Basically, in short, he doesn't have doubt that what David and similar stories believe, that they're lying. Like, he believes that they believe what they're saying is true, but it's more of a concept of like they're trying to find a way to purvey, like, to explain, like, things that they went through that they didn't understand at the time. So it's like
art therapy.
A limited ability to interpret all sensations, experiences, and he said randomly firing neutrons that come with being human.
Arguably, that's perfect. That is like the best therapy. So, like, if you're a trauma, because like a lot of people experience alien abductions as a trauma.
Yes.
So, as a trauma patient or experiencer, art therapy is fantastic. So
oh yeah,
it's like, again, that kind of lends a sense of credibility towards the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, shit, I even have memories of like being little, and it's like you can't process things at that time, so you like kind of recollect them as being like one weird fucking thing, and maybe not necessarily that's what it was. But, you know, this was him into his adulthood, so that is a little different. He was actually married, and then when he was in his 50s, and they were like, oh, now you can talk about it. And he started talking about it. His wife was like,
I'm not cool with this.
Yeah, so she left.
Oh, no.
And did not want to appear in the documentary, but his son did. And his son's like in his early 30s. So he was in the documentary, which is kind of cool. But again, he was relieved that he was finally able to talk about his experience, go look at his pictures, go watch the documentary. I'll probably follow up next week recording like any additional thoughts on the doc for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you again to Colin for turning me on to that, because it's fucking insane. Definitely look at the paintings if nothing else.
Thank you, Colin, because that is right up my alley for sure. And I know I have heard of this story before. It's just a lot of this stuff gets really confused.
Oh, God, sorry.
Gets really confused, and it's so similar. So it makes it difficult, because like when you have somebody come out with a story that's outlandish, and you're like, okay, that's crazy, and you have somebody come out with another story, you're like, okay, is it like supporting this previous story, or is it just writing the, what is it called? Writing the coattails of that success or whatever, or infamy even.
Right.
It's confusing. So, but I feel like the scenario is very familiar, and the paintings are very familiar, and it makes sense that trauma patients would use that kind of therapy to kind of process it.
Yeah.
And in which case, like, why would they choose this person? So the what I've noticed in the community, and I'll make this brief, I promise.
Oh, sorry. Is that I'm not yawning because you're boring.
You're boring. What I've noticed in the UFO community is a tendency to debunk or discredit. And it's usually, there's some backwood person that doesn't have access to proper science and facts and stuff.
He was
what if
educated?
So even if he is well educated, like, there's always going to be somebody that says, why his genes? Why is he the one that's chosen to bear or be the father of all of these alien children? You know, like, what about him makes him an ideal specimen? Is it the docileness of his character? Is he subservient? Is he one of those doers, like a drone? Are they breeding a lot of drones, or are they're not? Like, what? I don't. That's the thing. When I said earlier about the narcissism and the way that abductees like usually have this sense of like, I'm special, and it's I've been chosen, you know, like,
well, and that was he never acted like that, apparently. Like, he was never.
He didn't, though. Like, he sounds like it. He's like, I like breeded all these babies, you know, like, I was chosen. My sperm is like superior, so they chose my sperm. It's like,
well, I guess it's the same thing as your dude. Like, he wasn't. It didn't seem like. He's not like doing charity work, but it also didn't seem like
though.
He was seeking out notoriety.
He wasn't seeking out, well, but was he? So when I said, you're right, though, that's a good parallel and a good tie-in to both subjects, because even though Edgar Cayce like didn't want the riches that doesn't mean he didn't want the fame.
Yeah.
So maybe he got off on the fame of it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, you make a good point. Like
maybe that was his reward.
David wasn't looking for money, but he did want people to notice him.
Right. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
Like us.
100% like us. That's crazy. That is so weird how we like started out in a weird, sad place and then ended up like getting to this. This is weird, guys. This is a synchronicitous
it's good
episode. Enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it.
It's always cathartic.
It is our catharsis.
But it's also like weird how our shit always like kind of ties into each other. Like you were talking about earlier. Yeah.
Right. Even though this was a subject that that I had planned for a long time and had the notes, but like
well, I forgot, so it's not like I was trying to tie mine into your.
But it is weird though that both of our episodes ties into our lives, and it's crazy. But you guys enjoy this episode, and we hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks until the next one.
Yes. So on that note.
Until the next time it all goes terribly wrong.
I'm Jordan Stock.
And I'm Rebecca Carlson.
And we're sorry.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
So I'm Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, sweet. 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 Sweet Sweet.